mí lo que me preocupa es la turbina. No se puede quitar. Sí, claro.
Hurricane Melissa has made its second devastating landfall, this time in Cuba, after tearing across Jamaica as one of the most powerful Atlantic hurricanes in history. In the early hours of October 29th, the storm roared ashore near Chivirico, a small coastal town in Santiago de Cuba province, as a strong Category 3 hurricane. Winds exceeding 120 miles per hour battered the coastline as torrential rain and storm surge swept across the island's eastern provinces. Only a day earlier, Jamaica endured a catastrophic strike from Melissa as a Category 5 hurricane, leaving widespread devastation and entire towns underwater. After crossing the Caribbean Sea, Melissa weakened slightly, but remained a massive and dangerous system as it approached Cuba's southern coast. The National Hurricane Center described it as an extremely dangerous storm, warning of life-threatening flash flooding, hurricane-force winds, and storm surge that could reach up to 8 feet along low-lying coastal areas.
Melissa está en un punto lejos de nosotros.
Verá, este es el cine uno de los cines de la bodega.
Cuban authorities, aware of the storm's potential, had already mobilized one of the largest evacuation efforts in years. More than 735,000 residents were moved from vulnerable coastal and mountainous areas to temporary shelters by Tuesday night. Schools were closed, flights grounded, and all major ports were shut down as emergency crews prepared for the worst. President Miguel Díaz-Canel urged citizens to remain calm and disciplined, emphasizing that the government had prepared for the storm, but warning that the next 24 hours would test Cuba's resilience. By dawn, Melissa's eye wall had reached land. The sound of wind tearing through the trees echoed through Santiago de Cuba, while waves crashed against the Malecón seawall, flooding entire streets. Power lines snapped under the force of the wind, and thousands of homes lost electricity within the first hour of impact. By mid-morning, most of the eastern provinces, including Guantánamo, Holguín, and Granma, were without power. In Santiago de Cuba, residents waded through waist-deep water, clutching belongings and leading children through flooded streets as rain poured relentlessly.
Mira esto. Mi carrito a Lazy, mi a la mata.
Mira el río.
El río. Y la cosa. Mira esto. Churra por donde quiera.
Meteorologists from Cuba's Institute of Meteorology reported rainfall totals exceeding 12 inches in some regions within a matter of hours. In the mountainous terrain of the Sierra Maestra Range, runoff from the heavy rain triggered multiple landslides, cutting off entire communities. Roads were blocked by fallen trees and debris, isolating dozens of villages and making it nearly impossible for rescue teams to reach the affected zones. The government confirmed that over 240 communities, home to approximately 140,000 people, had been completely cut off due to rising river levels and collapsed bridges. In the city of Contramaestre, north of where Melissa made landfall, rivers overflowed their banks, submerging farmlands and destroying crops. In the province known as Cuba's agricultural heartland, officials warned that losses to food production could be severe. Preliminary assessments indicate widespread damage to sugarcane, banana, and coffee plantations, key elements of the local economy. Hospitals in Santiago, de Cuba, and Holguin implemented emergency procedures as roofs were damaged and power outages affected patient care. At Black River Hospital, generators kept life support equipment running after a section of the roof was torn away by the storm. The Ministry of Public Health confirmed that all critical patients had been safely relocated before landfall, and mobile medical brigades were dispatched to provide assistance in shelters in remote areas.
Ay, Dios mío, acá va otro lugar. Chacho, muchacho, esa casa está incomunicada, mi hermano, mira.
A la mierda. Incomunicado todo esto aquí. Mira, paz.
No, y cuidado nosotros aquí, ¿oíste?
A la pinga.
Cuidado nosotros aquí.
Telecommunications across the region were heavily disrupted. Internet access went down early in the morning, and radio became the only source of communication for many. Emergency radio stations broadcasted continuous updates, advising residents to stay indoors until the storm's center passed. Local journalists reported scenes of courage and solidarity, neighbors sharing food and water, volunteers clearing debris from blocked drainage systems, and rescue teams working through the night despite dangerous conditions.
Conéctense y compartan, por favor. Miren todavía cómo está esto.
By late morning, Hurricane Melissa had weakened slightly to a Category 2 storm with sustained winds around 105 miles per hour. Yet, the damage remained extensive, Floodwaters rose rapidly in coastal towns, where storm surge mixed with torrential rainfall to inundate entire neighborhoods. Videos shared from Santiago de Cuba showed torrents of muddy water gushing through the streets, cars half submerged, and residents carrying their pets through waist-deep floodwaters.
No logro ver para allá. Bueno, ya son las 7 y algo de la mañana. Ya el día va dando. Estoy mirando la avenida Francisco Vicente Aguilera y sobre la altura de lo que es la policía, lo que nosotros conocemos como la policía, y calle 4, hay ramas en el suelo. También está inundada toda la avenida. Para aquellas personas que están viéndome desde el exterior, un abrazo, saludos, estamos bien, gracias a Dios. Estamos con vida, que es lo más importante.
For Cuba, the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa marks another chapter in its long history of resilience in the face of natural disasters. Early preparation and coordinated evacuations have saved countless lives, but the physical and emotional toll remains immense. Recovery will take time, weeks if not months, but the spirit of solidarity is already visible in the streets as neighbors and volunteers unite to rebuild their communities. Melissa's journey continues through the Caribbean, leaving behind a stark reminder of the growing power of tropical systems in a warming world. Its legacy in Cuba will be defined not only by the destruction it caused, but also by the strength and unity of those who endured it.
Dios mío, miren esto. Morida, vivida y nacido.